My fellow Americans, hello, welcome. I am the father of your country, a founder of your nation, Revolutionary War hero, Virginia plant owner, landowner. I'm George Washington. Now they were all gloomy during the Revolutionary War and the early days of our Republic. In fact, we patriots often had a sense of humor to help us get through tough times. While my pal, Ben Franklin, was the best stand-up man of his day, I too could tell a few jokes, and I will proceed to share with you the lighter side of life in the late 1700s. Why did I have trouble sleeping? Because I just couldn't lie. What do I call my false teeth? The presidentials. What would I do if I were alive today? Probably clawing the inside of the lid of my coffin. What do you call an animated picture of me? A George Washington. What do you get when you cross me with a vegetable? You get George Squashington. What do you get when you cross a rooster with the first signer of the Declaration of Independence? You get a John Hancock-a-doodle-doo. What quacks and betrays his country? Benedict Arnold. I can still laugh about that now. What do you get when you cross a patriot with a curly-haired dog? You get a Yankee Poodle. If you cross a founding father with a famous monster, what do you get? Benjamin Frankenstein. Why did I cross the Delaware? To get to the other side. When you cross a national bird with Snoopy, what do you get? The bald beagle. How did Patriots' dogs protest against British taxes? They held the Boston Flea Party. When the British imposed the stamp tax against us, what did we do? We licked them. What did the Patriot put on his dry skin? Revolution. What did Ben call his dog? Bone Franklin. What's my favorite dance of Patriots? The Independence. 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 Do flags talk to other flags? No, they just wave. What's a fake patriot? An Uncle Sham, like Benedict Arnold. What were my favorite trees? The infantry, the liberty tree, the fraternity tree, not the cherry tree. Didn't like those. What colonists told the worst jokes? The Pennsylvanians, like Franklin. What ghost haunted King George III? The spirit of 76. Why did I train my chickens to catch British spies? Surely you've heard of chicken cacciatore. What's the difference between a duck and me? One has a bill on his face, the other has his face on a bill. Sufficient likeness, I think. Where was the Declaration of Independence sign? At the bottom. People ask me, why did I chop down that cherry tree with a hatchet? And the answer is, the chainsaw hadn't been invented yet. Was the Declaration of Independence written in Philadelphia? No, it was actually written in ink. What was the craziest battle of the American Revolution? The Battle of Bunkers Hill. What was Thomas Jefferson's favorite dessert, Monticello. Why don't you tell jokes to the Liberty Bell? Because it'll crack up. Why did British soldiers wear red coats? So they could hide in the tomatoes. At one time, my house was so infested with so many rats and cockroaches, people called it Mount Vermin. What had 4 legs, a red nose, and fought for the British? Rudolph the Red-Coat Reindeer. You say you want a revolution, you can count me in. Let me get back to my buddy, Ben Franklin, for a while. As well as a great patriot for the cause, the guy had a great sense of humor and was always joking and playing gags. His first prank started when he was a teenager. He worked for his older brother's newspaper, but his brother rejected all Franklin's writings. So what Ben did was to submit letters to the newspaper anonymously under the pen name Silence Dogood. Soon this fake identity of Ben's was getting letters published in his brother's newspaper. Boston readers loved the humor in his letters, and the so-called Silence Dogood got fan mail and even a few marriage proposals as well. Ben was the first female impersonator. However, Franklin's brother eventually found out that Ben was behind hoax, and he fired Ben. Franklin got run out of Boston and later found his fortune in Philadelphia. When he became his own publisher, Benjamin Franklin did not always have the highest standards of journalism, but by then he could get away with it. He often planted fake news stories, articles by anonymous tipsters, humorous, satirical essays, and true stories with embellished details in his publications. Chances are, if Ben Franklin was working today, he'd also be fired or sued, but some of his writings were classics. Here are some examples. Wise men don't need advice, and fools won't take it. Guests are like fish. They both smell after 3 days. He who falls in love with himself shall have no rivals. Blessed is he who expects nothing, for he will never be disappointed. He that lieth with dogs shall rise with fleas. People who lend money have better memories than people who borrow it. 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead. We patriots must all hang together, or we will hang separately. Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Or, late to rise, late to bed, makes a man sick, poor, and dead. A penny saved is a penny earned. That makes sense. He's a fool who makes his doctors err. Still true today. Franklin also wanted the turkey to be our national bird. Not one of his better ideas. And unfortunately, it was not accepted. Ben was also the first to use electricity to kill animals. That may make him some enemies today. I've heard there's a musical called Hamilton about my former Secretary of the Treasury. Now, Alex Hamilton was a great man, but why didn't they make a musical about me? Washington. Perhaps the success of Hamilton musical will inspire such a show. Imagine it now. Washington, the musical. I can even imagine some songs which might be it. On Washington, the musical. I chopped down that cherry tree. I cannot tell a lie, you see. I admit that it was me, 'cause I chopped down that cherry tree. Maybe they could have a tribute to my wife on the show. Martha, my dear, I love you when you're near. For you I will be here. I love you, Martha, my dear. Maybe they could sing songs about people I knew, like Mad Anthony Wayne. Some thought he was insane, but he stood his ground. He wouldn't back down, that Mad Anthony Wayne. Or how about Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration, took less than he gave, made love to his say, that Thomas Jefferson. Oh, that one may need a little more work. Like Hamilton, I could also include Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr told Alex, sorry I missed you. Alex said yes, sorry I dissed you. Burr gave him all he got, and Hamilton gave Burr another shot. Bang! Sorry, Hamilton. Ben Franklin was a friend of mine. He was witty, wise, and kind. He was proud, instigator, and the first female impersonator. And maybe one about me. I'm George Washington. There's so much I got done. First in war, first in peace. I did my best at least. I worked hard but had my fun, 'cause I'm George Washington. And maybe they could end the show with a big finale. He's the father of our country, the land of the brave and the home of the free. No one has done as much as he. I'm the father of your country. Yeah. Eat your heart out, Hamilton. Yeah, Washington, the musical. Why see Hamilton when you could say Washington is boss? And maybe we could buy props and costumes from Hamilton if that show closes, or maybe Washington show could be linked with a Hamilton show. Buy a Hamilton ticket, get a Washington ticket, 10% off. Now I'm glad Hamilton has been a big success, and I'm glad that I was included in a show. When they made 1776, another musical about the Revolutionary War, they didn't even include me in the cast. I admit, I was too busy fighting to do much writing with the Declaration of Independence. I am fairly pleased with the small parts written for me in plays, musicals, TV shows, and movies. I realize that other characters are more popular subjects. In fact, there are more films about Jack the Ripper and Billy the Kid than me, Washington. Perhaps my life didn't excite or thrill people enough. They did make a TV miniseries about my life in 1984. It's about 8 hours long, and the networks don't air it often. Maybe the concern the show might bore people to death. However, I am certain that someday a great story of my life will be realized. Who knows, maybe Washington could be the next Hamilton. Another friend of mine who had a good sense of humor was John Hancock. He said the reason he signed his name so large on the Declaration of Independence was that King George III could read it without his glasses. What breakfast betrays your stomach? Eggs Benedict Arnold. Perhaps some of you might remember that British general, William Howe. He is best known for beating me in the battles of Brandywine, Germantown, and Long Island. Yes, it's hard to believe it, but I lost 3 battles to the same guy, General Howe. In fact, I never actually beat him. I was just wearing out those British generals for so long that they just gave up. Like Howe, they got careless. They gave up like Howe, or they got careless like Cornwallis. This shows that it doesn't matter how many battles you lose or win. Whether or not you win the war is what matters. And people remember me for that. Does anyone still remember General William Howe, who beat me 3 times in battles? No. At the Boston Tea Party, what did the Patriots wear? They wore T-shirts. What kind of tea did the colonists want? We want liberty, equality, fraternity, and unity. Who is nerdy and betrays his country? Benedict Arnold. Why does the Statue of Liberty stand in New York Harbor? Because she can't sit down. When I got my glasses, all my fellow officers cried. All I said was, I have gone gray and almost blind in the service of my country. And everyone broke up all about that, about all the sacrifices everyone had made during the war. I just got glasses, and I thought, people thought I was dying. They were very concerned. I was interested in seeing a TV show called The Jeffersons. I was disappointed that it was not about Thomas Jefferson, but about an African-American couple in New York. My, how times have changed. They could still be his relatives, though. Thomas did not discriminate when it came to relationships. He was a fair man. Well, about as fair as a slave owner could be. But truly, Thomas Jefferson was a great man. When he said, all men are created equal, he meant that they were equal in the eyes of God. He didn't mean that everyone is given the same opportunities in life. Obviously, some people have more than others, and some people are able to do more with what they have than others. So do as much as what you can with what you have. Jefferson probably had what you would call social anxiety disorder words. Social anxiety disorder. In other words, he was shy. During his presidential term, he gave only 2 speeches while he was president. His first and second inaugural speeches. No, these days he never win an election. What has allergies and betrays his country? Benedict Arnold. Let me tell you about how the revolution got started in America. Got a song here. Rockin' and a rollin', splishin' and a splashin' over her horizon, what can that be? The pilgrims sailed the sea to find a place to call their own. In their ship Mayflower, hoped to find a better home. They finally knocked on Plymouth Rock, and someone said, we're there. It may not look at home, but at this point, I don't care. They planted corns and beans, built their houses one by one, and bit by bit, they worked till the colonies were done. They looked around, up and down. Someone said, hooray! If the king could only see us now, he'd be proud of us today. They knew that now they'd run their own land, but George III still vowed he'd rule them to the end. Anything I say, do it your way now. Anything I said, the king's way. Don't you feel it independent? The king forced us to obey. He even had the nerve to tax our cup of tea. To put it kindly, king, we really don't agree. Gonna show you how we feel. We're gonna dump this tree into Boston Harbor. Gonna make it the biggest tea in history. Boston Tea Party. We wanted no more Mother England. We knew the time had come for us to take command. It's very clear you're being unfair, king. No matter what you say, we won't obey. Gonna hold a revolution. Gonna run it all our way. No more kings. You're elected president. Me. No more kings. He'll do what the people want. No more kings. Run things our way. No more kings. No one's going to tell us what to do. Rockin' and a rollin', splishin' and a splashin' over the horizon. What can it be? Looks like it's gonna be a free country. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Now, the American Revolution started at Lexington and Concord in Massachusetts. Let me tell you about it in another song. The British are coming. The British are coming. Now to ride up Paul Revere, set his nation on its ear, and the shot of Lexington heard round the world, bang, bang. When the British fired in the early dawn, the war of independence had begun. The die was cast, the patriot flag unfurled. And on to Concord we watched our foe seize the arsenal there, you know. Waking folks, searching all around, till our mischief stopped there in their tracks, and the North Patriot, we turned them back, and we chased those solo redcoats back to town. And the shot heard round the world was the start of the revolution. The Minutemen were on the move. Take your powder, take your gun, report to General Washington. Hooray, there's not an hour to lose. Now famous Bunker Hill, though he lost the quite a thrill. Rebel Prescott and his guys, numbered low on ammunition. The British stormed his position. He said, hold your fire till you see the whites of their eyes. So the next few years were tough. General Washington's men proved they were tough. These hungry, ragged boys would not be read. One night we crossed the Delaware, surprised the Hessians sleeping there, and at Valley Forge we bundled up the feed. And the shot heard round the world was the start of the revolution. The Minutemen were already on the move. Take your blanket, take your gun, report to General Washington. We got our rights and now it's time to prove. Well, they showed such determination that they won the admiration of countries across the sea like France and Spain, who leaned the colony ships and guns and put the British on the run and the colonial army on its feet again. And though they lost some battles too, the Americans swore they'd see it through. The trading parties kept up hit and run. At Yorktown, the British could not retreat, trapped by Washington and the French fleet. The winner always surrendered, and finally we had won. The winner! Hooray! From the shot heard round the world to the end of the revolution, the colonial rebels took the day, and the father of our country beat the British at Yorktown and brought freedom to all the USA. God bless America, let the freedom ring. Okay, got one more song for you about the preamble. Okay, let me tell you about how me and my buddies drafted the Constitution in a song, of course. Okay. Hey, do you know about the USA? Do you know about the government? Can you tell me about the Constitution? Hey, learn about the USA. Yeah, yeah. In 1787, I say, your founding fathers did agree to write a list of principles for keeping people free. The USA was just starting out, a brand new whole country, and so the people spelled it out, the things that we should be. And they put those principles down on paper, and they called it the Constitution. And it's been helping us run the country ever since. The first part of the Constitution is called the preamble and says what we founding fathers set out to do. Oh yeah, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterior, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Hooray, 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 America. Yes, winning the Revolutionary War and forming a new government was no piece of cake. I've endured many failures along the way. I was beaten in battle a few times. They called me Washington the Retreater or Washington the Coward. There were so many times when we were on the verge of defeat in the war. Men would enlist and then they would desert the army. At Valley Forge, our troops were hungry and cold. The British would have destroyed us if they had attacked us then. But even in our darkest hour, we never gave up. We never gave up because a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. We kept going because we believed in our cause and looked to all we were able to do. We helped fund a new nation based on the principles of liberty and justice for all. Of course, it took some time for this to happen for everyone, and we're still working on it. Yes. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle dandy. Find a sailor in his cap and let himself be handy. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle dandy. Find a sailor in his up. Better be handy. Okay, happy Independence Day. Happy Independence Day to you. Yes, thank you. Keep America great. And God bless America. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye now. Goodbye.